Hey everyone, Ryan Young, Kama Jiu-Jitsu, and I hope you're doing well. So I'm doing well as always, and one of the reasons why I'm doing well is because I get to train every day. I'm 50 years old, I'm living life. And because I get to train every day, I get to hang out with my friends. My kids train, I get to hang out with my kids. Just today, in fact, both my kids, my 17-year-old and my 13-year-old, were doing judo class with Sensei Dean, and they were going up against each other, which was good. So I get to see that every day. So the reason why I'm so happy is because not only do I get to train every day and I get to show up to work here every single day, when Dave comes into town, I get to hang with him. In fact, he's coming in this weekend, and we're gonna do some filming. Also, a month from now, we're gonna have the Rickson Gracie Cup. I've gotten a few people that decided they wanna compete in it, great. And a lot of them, it's their first competition, and Dave comes in for that. And of course, since it's the Rickson Gracie Cup, who's gonna be there? Grandmaster Rickson. Speaking of the Grandmaster, about a couple of weeks ago, he had come into town, and this was kind of by accident, because this was a 5 black belt seminar that was headlined by Rickson Gracie himself. Something happened, he couldn't make it. Warrior Tribe was the sponsor of the seminar. Many of you who are members of the JJGF and who also purchased the self-defense unit, which you can get from us, actually. We have a link below. Feel free to click on it. You can buy it there. If you're familiar with Rickson Gracie, you're familiar with his invisible jiu-jitsu, his weight distribution, his connection, all those concepts that he teaches, that we teach, then, and if it's something that you want to learn, which a lot of people did, then you wanted to go to that seminar because why? Warrior Tribe made a phone call. They called Rickson. Hey, Rickson, Roger can't make it. No problem, my friend. I will be there. Rickson ended up headlining the seminar, which was awesome. I wasn't planning to go, but at the last minute, when I heard about the change, I decided to go. And as well as about 5 of my students went, and I think 2 of the instructors were there. So we got to kind of enjoy going to see Rickson and teach a seminar. I haven't been to a Rickson seminar in years. As many of you know, I trained with Rickson for a number of years in the middle of my jiu-jitsu career, but I hadn't seen Rickson in over 20 years. And I trained with Dave. Dave sees Rickson, Professor Jack sees Rickson, but I don't. I don't live in California. He didn't really do any seminars near me until very recently. So that's why I jumped at the chance to go.
Like where are you? Because I live in the Los Angeles.
Okay, the Promenade Mall. You know what Promenade?
And so did my students. And it was a great thing. As you can see, I tried to document my journey over there. Kind of show my excitement about going to go see the Grandmaster. In fact, he's the Grandmaster. He's my Grandmaster, and he, to me, is the Grandmaster of all Grandmasters. I mean, there is nobody better than him. Now, a lot of people, you will beg to differ, but that's fine. So that's where we went, and one of the things that was really great about it, besides the experience, leading up to it, meeting up with my students, and actually attending the seminar, was that I wasn't the only black belt there. I would say a good 20 to 30% of the 150 people or so that I counted were black belts, which just goes to show either the respect that Rickson generates or the fact that so many people want to learn what he's teaching. So as far as we're concerned, it was good because we got to see Rickson teaching all that stuff firsthand. It wasn't cheap. It cost a lot of money to go because you're actually paying for 5 black belts, but I really only went to see the Grandmaster. So, on a per instructor basis, it was actually pretty costly, but it's only money, right? I just make more, I just work a little harder, right? So I went to see it, and I got to see his teaching. And one thing that I did notice was that everything he taught, Master Dave had already shown us many times. And it's something that he does every time he comes in. It's funny, one of my students, who's also an instructor, made a comment once about Dave coming. I think he had come in January of this year, and he came again maybe in March. And the comment that he made was that Dave taught the same thing in March that he did in January. And I mentioned to this particular student, I said, the reason why he went over it again is just because of the importance. Without base, then there's not much that you have in jiu-jitsu, and Rickson showed that. It was, first he started off with his breathing exercises, and without oxygen, you have nothing, right? And he showed us how to basically double the breathing capacity that we all have. We think we breathe deeply, but it's not really a deep breath, and he did a pretty good exhibition on showing how to do correct deep breathing the way he does it. The next thing he went into, base. And he went into about 2 or 3 different concepts of base.
Shaden.
Say hi, Nick.
Hi, Professor.
So, how was this seminar?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It's basically everything we do in class, so
Oh, good.
I'm very happy to be here
Okay.
to do it. Too bad I'm not a brown belt or a black belt, so I can stay for the VIP session.
The VIP session after
Yes.
this. So,
So you'll have to take minute details.
it was great seeing everybody, the Grandmaster.
Very much so.
The best thing about it for us was that we already did it. Now, some people would say, oh, it was just a waste of time because you already know it. Well, for me, it was more validation. Validation that we are faithful to Rickson's style of jiu-jitsu. Because to us, you know, I know of a lot of people who say they do Rickson's jiu-jitsu because they come down from his lineage, but they may have some of the concepts, but they don't have all of the concepts. And it's not to say that we have all the concepts, but we are relatively up to date on what Rickson is doing because Jack trains with him relatively often. Dave does as well. Both of them have been to see Rickson multiple times this year, whether it be for private or whether it be for Dave's doing a lot of the police training with Rickson as well. And in fact, Dave's coming over this weekend and we're going to be working with a local police department. You know, this is going to be the third police department that Dave's worked with to teach their defensive tactics instructors the concepts that Rickson teaches through his expression of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and I think it's very valuable.
All right, so the Jiu-Jitsu Summit seminar is over for me since I pretty much only signed up to see Grandmaster Rickson. So we did the regular 2-hour seminar with the Grandmaster, and then he did a VIP session for black and brown belts shortly after that. So I'm grateful that he came by to teach us today. And I'm most grateful to Master Dave for teaching me all the stuff that I learned again today. So it feels good to know what the Grandmaster is teaching.
We've also taught soldiers out in Guantanamo Bay. And you know, we have officers here, we have soldiers here, and you know, that's one of the things that we like to give back to. Seeing Rickson in his element just showed how much he enjoys it, how his teaching has evolved. He's now able to teach from many different perspectives now. He can teach you, you know, through feel, which is his original, my understanding of his original ability to teach was through feel. He wasn't much a visual teacher or an auditory teacher. He was very much a kinesthetic teacher. Now he can hit on all three senses when he's teaching, which is awesome. At the same time, I got to meet a few new people over there. And you know, the funniest thing is, you know, this whole YouTube channel thing, I just do this because it's fun. And I originally did it, if you look at those old videos that go back, where I'm sitting in a Starbucks and it's noisy, there's no sound, I'm just kind of talking to my phone, and I'm trying not to, as we say in Hawaii, I'm trying not to make ass, really make a fool of myself, basically what it is. So I'm kind of talking, I'm looking at the phone, I'm talking really softly like this, but the sound is going back and forth, you hear the coffee machines and all that going, the grinders, and I look back at those videos and I get impatient watching them because the sound quality is just so bad. Whereas now, you know, we've got mic set up there, we've got mic set up here, we've got redundancy with regard to sound. Sometimes, you know, we're going to start doing videos where we have redundancy in video as well. And we're starting to step it up thanks to Rusty. But when I look back at those videos, and it just kind of goes to show how things have evolved. And Rickson's evolved. Master Dave's evolved. Kama Jiu-Jitsu has evolved both in Irvine and in Texas. And when I say evolve, I don't mean necessarily change to a different direction. I mean change for the better. And me seeing Rickson for the first time in 20 years did a lot to reinforce that I'm on the correct path. And it's all thanks to Kama Jiu-Jitsu. It's thanks to Dave, you know, coming here several times a year. I mean, in fact, he's going to be here in October, which is this month. He'll be here again next month. He'll be again in December. And he was here probably about 5 times prior to this trip. So I'm excited that we're going to see Grandmaster Rickson again in November for the Rickson Gracie Cup. I'm excited that we have students that are going to be competing. And I'm excited to meet you when you come and because I don't know you, I mean, but you know, you see me, and I hope to get to know more of you as time goes on. It actually was kind of weird walking into that seminar and being stopped and say, hey Ryan, you know, can I get a selfie, you know, and it was actually kind of funny. And I was helping one of my students once, and a gentleman who was a blue belt was just standing, just waiting, and I'm kind of going over stuff, and I'm just looking at him, and he goes, hey, Dave Kama? And I'm like, no, I'm Ryan. And then he goes, oh yeah, well, can I get a picture? He goes, I see your channel all the time. I'm like, yeah, sure, right? So, you know, it's kind of weird, you know, I'm not used to that. And all I do is I just do these stupid videos that I originally did just for my students, and just for our students in Irvine as well as Texas, to kind of answer some questions so that I wouldn't have to do it again and again in the studio, right? Because inevitably somebody will ask about something, and it's probably the 5th or 6th time I've answered it in the last quarter. So I just figured, you know, I'll put in a video. And that's where all those original videos started off, in Starbucks or someplace else, sitting outside. And you know, I want to thank you guys for bearing with me on those videos and continuing to watch our videos as they come on. And I hope this little video of my trip over to the seminar is enlightening, and it certainly was for me, and I'm very happy to share it with you. In the meantime, that's all I got. Happy training, y'all.